Welcome to What's New in AL 2022 Wave 1, the Hacker Edition. Hey, I'm Eric, and this has kind of become a tradition, I guess. This is, I can't even remember how many times we have done this, but Microsoft just released version 20, or 2022 Wave 1, or in some weird places also known as version 9. We'll get back to that in a second. Yeah, it's kind of become a tradition that I take a peek under the hood to see what's actually new in AL, because the AL compiler is written in .NET and is not obfuscated, so we can take a peek inside the DLLs and see what goes on. So let's get right into that. And actually, before where am I? I'm gone. I'm lost. Oh, let's see if I'm there. I am. What happened? Oh, anyway. So this is where we left off half a year ago. What was new in version 8, or in 2021 Wave 2, or in version 19. So many versions numbers. Anyway, so we have the popular label with the year in it. So 2022 Wave 1. And what does that mean? Well, that means all the stuff that happens between April 1st and till October 1st. So when Microsoft talks about a wave, they don't actually talk about, we have a big release at the beginning, but they're not saying that everything everything new that is coming in this version is coming on the .0 version, so 20.0. So what they have basically told us is that the list of stuff, and I think I got the list here somewhere, this list, this is what's happening within that half a year. So we get most of it now, but stuff are still left to be released. Anyway, so what we can take a look at retrospective, is that how it's going? Anyway, take a look back and see what did they actually do in version 19. So this is where we left off in the last video. So I won't look at that, but what we can see that if we look at what happened in 19.1, we got what looks like a big list of stuff, but actually it's all new versions of error functions that now get the error info. You can pass an error info structure to it. So like test field, in this case, test fields on different field types. So those are just all the ones. This is basically just adding the error info to test field for all the different field types. So that's pretty much what happened in 19.1. And if we check for 19.2, nothing. 19.3, nothing. 0.4, nothing. 0.5, nothing. 6 doesn't exist. So now we can see that Microsoft basically, made all the changes to AL within the first 2 releases of a version. So the 0.0 and the 0.1. So let's take a look and see what happened in what's new in version 20. And as you can see, I'm searching for a version number. Now it's version 9. So when Microsoft introduced the AL platform, they introduced a new version numbering thing. So they kind of started over, but not really. So we could say that what we have now is a Business Central version 9, but it's version 20 because they kept the nav version number. So from that aspect, you can say that version 0 in this concept, in this internal tagging, version 0 was nav 2018. But anyway, we're searching for version 9 because that is equal to version 20. Business Central V20, aka 2022 Wave 1. Okay, and let me close this one. We can see that there are stuff. And we might as well just start from the top and see what goes on. And here we got a new attribute called isolated, and I think that goes to get. Let's go down to the. Oh no, I think we have a better section somewhere here on body reporting. Oh, hang on, did I miss that? Governance here, development. So isolated events. So the fact that we can have an event that runs isolated, so if it fails, it doesn't bring anything down. The event is being run as its own transaction, so it's independent on what the scenario it's called in. As far as I understand this, it's not a out of session, because it's still I think it's still running within their own session. It's not its own task, but we'll play with that in a later video. Let me know if you think that's interesting. And I think this is the same thing, isolated on events. So that's pretty much attributes. Oh, maybe there's one more. What do we have here? Oh yeah, there's a new event for inherit permissions, and I think that's also documented. I suspect that at this point, I think we're into this one. Yeah, inherit permission. So there's a new a new attribute you can assign to procedures, where you can give this procedure permissions. You can never give this procedure more permissions than you can give permissions to objects within the same extension. I think that's the idea. Let's continue. So that's attributes. So 2 of those. So now we're getting into an object parser. So the object parser is what. So we have different sections in an AL object. We have the object definition, then we have code snippets with AL code in. And now we are looking at stuff that happens to the object structure. And this is a Excel parameter to this is all report layout. So you can see this is Excel, this is report Excel layout. We got more. So let's take a look at this. Interesting. So I think this is actually the coolest thing in version 20, and certainly something that where do we have that? This not users can export data sets to Excel. That's just the export. Am I blind? Multiple layouts. That's the one, and we got somewhere else something with Excel. Let's see where. Use Excel to design layouts for reports. So it's not in this list. It's not under development. So this is all Excel. I think we got more field group. I need to look at what that is. Field group, report extension. What do we have here? Excel layout, report layout. So we have the new thing where you can, a report can have multiple layouts. So within a report, we can define multiple layouts. So that's pretty cool. Also, we're also going to let me know if you want videos on that. I think that's pretty interesting. Report layout, report layout, report layout. So that's basically all there is to objects in version 20. Now we got, this is interesting. So there's actually a new on-prem functionality. So we are on blob fields, and there's a new overload for on-prem import and export, for that matter. I'm not gonna spend much time on that. You know, I'm all about the cloud. So if somebody looks into this, let's put it in the comments below. If somebody are looking into this thing. Then we have create layout system option, Excel. That makes sense. What do we have here? We have another overload to create an arrow info with some other parameters. And now we're getting into permission. So this is probably part of the so what's also new here. Let's see if we can find that. Permissions. There is some permission stuff. I can't find it right now. So let's see if we find more permissions down here. Let's continue down the list. This is, what is this? This is, oh, so we got RDC layout, default layout. And I think we got another one down here. Validate and prepare layout. So that's a new AL function. That's actually an AL function, I think. Yeah. Validate if the provided report layout is compatible with the specified report and performs the required modifications so they can be used for rendering. So that would be prepared layout, in-stream layout, layout type. Yeah, definitely have to go look at that. Later on, let's continue more about Excel and the layout stuff here. That's it. Let's continue down the list. What do we have here? Print. New built-in function, print. Well, clearly something with on the report. Where are we? We are on a report instance something. Are these units overload? I don't know. Let's continue. It's clearly that most of the stuff that happens here are report layout types, and we got some report layout type system options. We got RDLC, Word, and Excel. And then this is actually interesting. So see here. So these are report layout types. And there is one called RDLC. That makes sense. There's one called Word. That makes sense. There's one called Excel. We know that now. That Excel. But then there's one more here on the list called Custom. I have no idea what that is. Oh yeah, that's here. This one. So that's interesting. Let's see at some point if we can figure out if that's something useful. Report layout type. I wonder if what happens if we put in report layout type. So I may be totally out here, but no, it's here. Hey, look at this. Denotes. Wow. Denotes a report layout of a user-defined type. So, okay. So the cool thing here, and maybe my videos have had like a tiny piece in this whole puzzle, but Microsoft has started to auto-generate documentation from the source code, meaning that this thing is here because it's in the source code. So if there are people who are way better at looking at what has been changed in docs, and there's docs is in Git, so you can do fancy queries there to look at stuff that is tagged a certain way. I look at the code because I like to look at the code. But so something like this is documented, but I have no idea what a user-defined type is in this case. If you know, leave comments below. That's interesting. Anyway, that's the bottom of the list. So a fairly short list this release. And again, as I think I've said this before, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's important for us that the environment that we are working with, stuff is stable, and it's also a proof that the platform is stabilizing and maturing. So that thing is fine. But to repeat, yeah, we got a couple of new attributes, and then it's basically attributes, few things about permissions, and then it's all the report stuff. That's basically version 20 for you, aka version 9 or whatever we call it. So that's the list. Let me know in comments below which of these things that you would want to see videos on. Let me know if you know about stuff that I missed from this. So this is, this list is just what has been changed to AL, to the language, to what you can write in Visual Studio Code, what you can put in a .al file. So there's a bunch of changes going on that has no effect. Like there are new events or stuff that the backend can do, but unless it requires changes in this, only those things that require changes in the source will show up on something like this. And of course, Microsoft could totally fool me and then just tag something differently, and then I would never catch it here. Anyway, comments below, you know the drill, and perhaps subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. So tons of videos are coming on version 20 here. So let me know. And then, check this video out. It's pretty good, and the YouTube algorithm thinks this is the best one for you. So see you there. Take care. Bye.